Mukuro
Let's
Ikusaba,
begin with
the
a
mysterious
basic
dead body,
explanation
and
of the class
Kyoko.
trial.
What's the connections here?
Your votes will determine the results. If you can figure
Same
out
song and
who
dance,
done
Monokuma every
it, then
time.
only they will receive punishment. Then I'll punish everyone besides
My
the
dark humor is still
blackened,
coming back
and the
from
one
the
that deceives
investigation
everyone
part.
else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
You do the
Well
killing.
then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
The mysterious dead body that just appeared in the garden.
First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
She's alive!
Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
No.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because
She's not a
it's
ghost!
like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Oh, believe me, I've been tolerating you the whole
I
time.
just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
Even if she is standing right over there.
Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves that doesn't belong, that proves that the body doesn't belong to her, is her gloves, because her piercing glare, her face. No, her gloves, because the body was wearing long fake
About her
nails.
gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Not a ghost, dude. There's no way that corpse is Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here, and the case won't move forward. I don't have any choice. I must prove it. Tattoo on the right hand, the explored body analysis, and the fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope.
Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Very. I know the body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I can prove it.
That
Kyoko,
Has to do with the nails.
okay, then prove
The dead body
they got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been.
No. You're stuck on this whole ghost topic.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain.
I would have ripped right through the gloves.
Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Taylor, you don't either.
Anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
You dull.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That was question 1 right there.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Sprinklers, the colored body, and the tattoo.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Oh, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
And the one thing I can tell us was on the victim's own body.
If Kyoko really
Yep, the wolf of
I
Fenrir.
don't think so. And there wasn't any
The
description.
Fenrir mark.
We can't identify the...
No, it's wrong.
can identify it somewhat. The Fenrir marker.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death? This I gotta see.
Oh my god.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
The Wolf of Fenrir.
Oh yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
I think Toko's in one of her fantasies again.
Seriously? You really did something that humiliating?
No, Toko's just in one of her
that's not
fantasies.
it. The identity of the victim is
I'm having
hidden
a
within
bagel
that
later on.
tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, yeah, so if we compare the tattoo, let's go to her information. Mukuro Ikusaba, female, known as the ultimate sword. She became been obsessed. Is that even proper English? She became obsessed with the military from a young age. This appeared while on vacation in Europe and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently, every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on the body to represent their membership of the group. In this case, it's her right hand.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
In her case, her right hand. The image that represents Fenrir is the wolf, isn't it? I've literally just gotta find the F, okay. Easy mode.
Now I understand.
10 minutes, 40 seconds, 233 milliseconds. Let's rock.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Goro Kechi? Persona anyone? No? Okay.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
She's still a student here.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
She was a soldier.
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty badass
correctly,
class to have in
that
here.
other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
At least she can handle being wrong.
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character, which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
And that's the
Then
best game.
who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Isn't chatter and chit-chat basically the same thing?
Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
Big brain.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Doubt it.
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there's going to be two suspects, and unfortunately, it is both Kyoko and myself.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole
Choke him to
time
death.
we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Probably.
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
9.
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? 9.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01. Very strict time frame.
It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
Maybe, but not exactly. The sprinklers
For
and
me,
the fact the body was
I was
wet.
already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
The fact that they're so energetic, even though they had no sleep.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay then, looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I have to prove the murder didn't happen during that time. I didn't have an alibi. To that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Let's make it clear the body wasn't wet, and sprinklers go off at 7:30, so it might have been sometime after 7:30.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Possibly,
Yep.
but maybe
And
not.
Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the cook is almost totally dry. He's actually able to figure out when the body must have appeared.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Absolutely wrong. Now the game has really
Actually,
begun.
the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
It was only the top part of it, though, because
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How?
only the top part should have been wet because of the bucket.
You're saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Okay, he needs a zip it.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
No correlation there, Toko. Fuck what?
You're totally wacko.
Yep, it is coming from the wacko himself. Takes one to know one.
You really think it wasn't the sprinkler? You'd better tell us why!
She, of all people, should know. Need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. But look at the body itself. That should make it clear. Wait, seriously? A bullet time battle? Wow.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
I didn't realize she would have another one.
Anything. That's enough! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I'm right about this! I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! That's enough! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I'm right about this!
Final strike.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
The end to meet all ends.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
I didn't realize Toko would have another bullet time battle. I didn't realize the
The
first would
top
have
half
two.
of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
Actually
If the
interesting.
sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
Her way of thinking is frightening.
So sick of her.
Yeah, very.
Let's just move on.
Let's ignore her. Let's actually
The
pretend she
reason
doesn't
only the
exist.
top half was wet was because
You threw a bucket on it. A bucket of
while
water.
the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place
After 7:30 a.m.
sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
A very short time period.
Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Gary. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone that...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me?
Me? The one and
Stop
only
wasting
me?
time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You're not part of
Sorry,
this.
boss. Shutting up now.
You're not part of this.
Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
The fact that you guys believed her too.
So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko?
I mean, at least it would have been a good reason.
But you made
Not
one
desperately.
catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
You started saying she was the victim.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
The tarp. Saying something at the scene was used to cover a body could have been a tarp. Because the underside is dirty, but the top side's clean. Competition among the other two ships. One side was wet and filthy, yep, mud and grime. The other side is completely clean and dry.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
Damn it.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Shit. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might
Would it
that
have to be about the knife sticking out? I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. See, this would have been a good time to have a bullet time battle. Would have loved to see what Kyoko had to say.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp
Oh, hello, I'm
was
back to
totally
this.
spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I remember the blood on the body hasn't dried yet. Kyoko even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting the blood on us.
By covering the body with the tarp,
So how do I do the
Killer
analysis?
prevents...
So the reason the tarp
Hold on.
was only dirty
The
on
body-
one side
body
because the
was
sprinkler
explosion.
got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp,
Oh, body before the
it was
explosion.
totally spotless.
Because that side was protected from those since it was facing. Of course it didn't get dirty.
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
I guess we're sticking with the blood and the fact that there was like a knife freaking sticking out of it.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Yes.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, Yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
So is this gonna be like a Hifumi situation where he ended up using packs of blood to hide? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where
So
did
yeah,
they
this
get
so
something like that?
the description would have matched Hifumi situation.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
I totally thought that was the
Killer
case.
got the blood from right there in the garden.
That blood right from the garden, which must mean blood from the garden. Oh, because one of the chickens was gone. Number of chickens in the chicken coop had decreased from 5 to 4. Yasukuro claimed that there were without a doubt 5 chickens just before nighttime last night, and yet one of them had disappeared. Could have been chicken blood.
Could it have been chicken blood?
What?
Chicken
Chicken blood?
Just sounds weird.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
Chicken.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
Chicken. I want some chicken
So,
right now.
you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Whole killing game's messed
Killing a
up.
living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Asina, you're not
I
helping!
wonder if the killer had to get the
You're not
blood
helping.
from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the
By the
culprit
blood
used a
thing.
tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
Just going around in circles.
Beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
So they're not actually wearing the jacket. Quite the illusion.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up.
The body wasn't wearing the jacket, but it was like quite the illusion there.
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Likely.
That
Even they could
actually
disguise
wouldn't
that.
have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's
Continue
not...
throwing it on
Don't
him.
bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body.
Well then, looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey! Why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
No.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No.
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
The one Mukuro was holding on to.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? Can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Mukuro? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Mukuro?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of what exactly happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Looking at all these faces makes me sad.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
I have a feeling it'll be
It
someone
really
making
is,
fragments.
isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Nope,
So
there was
there's no
fragments.
question.
There was fragments of one of the Monokuma
You
bombs.
took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Toko, you're not one to talk. We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. It means when the knife was sent through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have
I'm gonna
that,
trust
seals
that
it.
today.
Just because I had that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her,
Fuck.
right?
Yes, I see what you're saying is I have absolutely no idea. Damn it. I really thought that would have been it.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
I guess the sky's dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto. It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what...
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
Because remember, the knife is in the tarp, and the knife is in the jacket, and the jacket was disguised. Was a
Wait,
disguise.
hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
But I could have sworn it would probably been the fragments
That
because
should
of
be
the
clear
Monokuma
from the
bomb.
description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it. In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body,
The knife was in the jacket.
the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe
was
you
another
stabbed her
disguise.
twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Exact condition? This. Through the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time. Oh! Single time. The knife, which went completely through the body. They also been struck the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
I got it!
It mentions she was
The
only stabbed
Monokuma
once.
file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her.
Oh, there we go.
Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Cover it up.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
No.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Oh, that's where the fragments come to use. There were bits of charred debris near the body. It should be noted that the bomb which had been removed from Monokuma in the gym had disappeared. Try to imagine these two events are unrelated.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
is again Kyoko.
Is the only other possible suspect. You,
What would Kyoko benefit from blaming me?
Hold
or
on
framing
a
me?
second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. And we're back to square one. Let's have all my health back.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Got to highlight
the
something.
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Countless. They didn't say the amount of wounds. The knife was covered up and all those other wounds in her body weren't fresh. She only leaves... Knife was a cover-up and all the other wounds in her body weren't fresh, which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
I do have to highlight something.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Okay, I know what I have to do. So it's not that way, I have to do it the other way around.
The victim's fatal. The explosion didn't...
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
So let's be Byakuya.
Shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
No, it's wrong.
Oh, because it hasn't yet to be established. They talk about both the stab and trauma.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what
the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Yes.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Is the handle really that blunt?
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
She would.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Damn.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Are we talking about the arrows that were found in the lodging? A set of titanium arrows was found in Dojo Locker with 10 total.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow or arrows? There's definitely multiple.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
How so?
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
You have no rights.
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it because that's one more thing about the weapon. One more thing about the weapon. One more secret. Alright, then let's do this.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
Oh yeah, the bloody duct tape that was found under the arrows. I just changed it without even thinking.
File, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Kyoko, shut the fuck up! If it was just the titanium arrow, it would have been it wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Which is why they used... Oh, they used the tape to... Okay, I get it.
I have no doubt.
They rounded up the arrows and used them as one weapon.
It said the weapon must have... It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Fuck, I missed.
You have no right!
The titanium, it was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
It said the weapon must... It seems like an arrow would just be too...
Which was why they were grouped up using the tape.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Is tape really considered a weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Oh, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Were you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh yeah, the woodblock key that was found in the room. The woodblock key that activates the lockers.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to the dojo locker. Yep, the wood block. Because this was in her room. The wood block decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. Do it.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Kyoko should know better than anyone? What does that mean? When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier.
Okay,
You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her a room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly, I'm not, but you should understand.
Byakuya.
Master would never...
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
There we go.
No, that's wrong! If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my
Which
room
is obviously a lie
I
because she
couldn't
had the other key
possibly
as
put
well.
the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Is something deeper? Is there some deeper meaning what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the mastermind had laid for us. Mastermind's trap. The mastermind's trying to trap Kyoko. But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but the risk means solving the mystery. We have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? Decide right now, not whether to stop. Okay, so guys, this is where I'm gonna cut because there is actually a double ending to this what is it, trial. If you press to pursue the lie, then Kyoko gets executed, and you'll actually see that at the end of the video. But we're gonna press let it go. So right now I'm gonna cut so I can at least save this, so I don't have to do all this work. So alright then, let's continue the trial and just let go of the situation. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
Yes.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
What?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
Yes.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Bitch.
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time!
Cut the time short because of Kyoko?
Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
And since they can't rebuttal back,
Time?
I think that they believe it's Makoto, me. Which means this is trouble. And also, that was very short. Whatever, give me my Kuma coins. 61.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
And... yikes. This is bad. You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man. Sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey.
It makes perfect sense. It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills.
It's time for your hype-added, positively thrilling punishment. Why do I... Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Well, fuck. Makoto has been found guilty. Time for the punishments. after-school lesson. More like detention, which I believe is what it's called in, like, both the anime and the Japanese version. Like, it's called, like, after-school detention or something like that. It's like how Toko's alter personality is called Genocider Show in both the anime and the Japanese version. So I'm believing that the anime of the original game is based off the Japanese version. Oh, alter ego! See what I tell you, alter ego was alive because he's a program, so only the computer got destroyed. And like that, Makoto is safe. But where he goes, well, we'll soon know. He didn't die, though. Hey, rhyme 3 for 3. Huh? What's this? What's going on? What's that? Yeah, it had to be. Alter ego? Alter ego? Is that some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network! Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this!
It would seem...
Seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. I just say it like Makoto for the jokes. I guess sometimes slips, I guess. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again! Yay! To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit, in a way, that's even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Bye! Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? What the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers all over the buildings in the bustling urban area. Oh yeah, there's just a scene from the beginning of the game again. It's like the school stands in the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop to the workforce every year. It's built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend the school. One, you already have to be attending high school, and two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. Standing at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. The beginning of the game. Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of the hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk out in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? I wasn't in any class I'd ever seen before. What the heck is going on? Finally, I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was it just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I can tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell! I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter ego. Alter ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend! And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out. Just look around. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? And here's the rocket from the beginning of the game. That's a rocket in a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Up here. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. I would have died here anyways. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. That's still not enough to reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, the fall from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Crunch. I didn't know how to take that. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. Oh, I've been in isolation COVID. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that again. I'm in isolation. It's not fun. As I watched, the pile of guards jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I quickly stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged in the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. Kyoko, who has noodles on her hand.
Awful.
Well, we're in a garbage pit. What do you expect? Kyoko!
Indeed.
Look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Is it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! Snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. 10 seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. So I guess Kyoko. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. I can't offer you any other reason than that. I really am sorry.
However...
Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
It's so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Havoc-Chapter Academy for one very important reason.
Correct. In other words...
So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once? Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. That's impossible. Amnesia? And is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I know it's a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone, and at that time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do... why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I came up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. The mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean some of my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. Wait, well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? Mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do for myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone else, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I... understand. I should...
Is this a dream flashback?
Understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's... to stay here.
Just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know, I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. To think, that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all the investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. Look into that now, shall we?
So...
You mentioned your ability.
My
ability, what everyone should have known for me. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. Whatever it took, I had to find them.
Correct.
Kyoko, the ultimate detective. Now that's one hell of a ring. You have to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak headmaster? Then that explains... Well, Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
Oh, the way... Because she was panicking when she kept hearing the headmaster's name. No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So...
Kyoko, what's going on?
I...
My memory hadn't come back to that point, but when he said that I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Mukuro, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. Ooh. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely had more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remember that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorm didn't have any cameras or monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. I was so preoccupied with investigating that room, it was unforgivably careless of me. So let's tap into some information. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. Oh, what do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important, and really ominous. Okay, let's tap into some more.
However...
What was going on? It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they want to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Host the Academy at your discretion. Rule number 4.
In other words...
The mastermind is too adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point when Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Uh-huh. What did you mean by that? What did you mean by that? I could have been the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... Yep. Last night. During the night. I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
The god of death. You mean the Grim Reaper? That's exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room. Like, you should really lock your doors.
Correct.
I ran to your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It had to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. If all that is really true, then I was right not to expose Kyoko's lie. And what would have happened if we did? Well, stay tuned and you'll figure out. I'm glad for my faith in her.
Correct.
And the murder was disguised, dojo key wound up in my room, the work of the mastermind. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means that the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but does that mean they created another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, there is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They need the class to try to kill me, but seem ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead, but I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to infiltrate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened to you, what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
A despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're, make no mistake, they're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. 100-mile dash. And looks like we're done here. 6 still remain. And what do we get for all this hard work? The Dream Island rocket. 5 alive. Yeah, oh wait, no, never mind. You guys already should know this. When I had to cut to get everything together. Anyways, yeah. So stay tuned, and now we're gonna show off the other ending. Forward. And like that, we're back here. So now, I'm sorry, Kyoko, but we're gonna have to pursue that lie. Let's go.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you.
Can you prove that it was me?
So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. It involves the key, doesn't it? Anyways, let's make our argument. And for Kyoko's account.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
And when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there.
Wait, or is it the key I'm supposed to highlight? Kyoko herself told me before the trial started that she had stolen something very important from the headmaster's room.
I didn't have the key.
Okay.
Because I'd given it, there's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't pop.
Oh wait, I think it's key and then have gone into my room.
Someone other than me must have
Put it there. That's the
Let's
only
try that.
explanation.
The key then have gone into
I
my
didn't
room.
have because I'd given it to. There's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Fuck. What does that have to do with what I said? Do you just not know what you're doing? Hold on.
Shoot!
I'm trying to figure out one more time.
I didn't have the key to my room.
Because I'd given it, there's no doubt about.
You are correct.
So I couldn't.
Then how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me
Damn
must
it.
have put it there. That's the only
Shoot!
Well, this is gonna be fun.
I didn't have the key to my because I'd given it to Byakuya.
There's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
I'm gonna try this.
Then how else could the key have
Someone other than me must have put
Damn.
it there. That's
Shoot!
I might just end up looking this up because I don't feel like waiting all this
I
time.
didn't have the key to my room
So I'll let them play.
because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about
Oh wait.
So I couldn't.
Then how else could the key have gotten there?
Try this
Someone
again.
other than me must
Or
have
repeat
put
a
it
different
there.
statement.
That's the only. I didn't have
because I'd given it to Byakuya.
Fuck.
Shoot!
Oh, I might have to redo this.
Because I'd given it, there's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then when we searched Kyoko's room,
I'll hopefully cut
how
out all
else could
these
the key
things.
have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
So I'm gonna just keep letting this play while I figure out what the hell this is.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation. I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
I have to figure this out myself. They only have it for the good ending.
I didn't have the key to my room.
Because I'd given it
To be, there's no doubt about that.
right.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into it.
Ah, there we go.
No, it's wrong.
Just Kyoko's general account.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I use Monokuma's central tool, which can open any lock in the school.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Then, are you saying you really didn't, Kyoko? You really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
And there's Monokuma rushing it again.
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right! We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. Something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Is everyone ready? Okay then!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
A lot to do with editing. And here we go, the bad ending. Kyoko has been found guilty. Kyoko had this whole resting face thing going for the whole time. And now you'll see how her true feelings will show. She looks really pretty too. She has all that to happen. Definitely like the music in Makoto's execution better. After school lesson. Or after school detention. Face turning red. Also, why I even never realized that Kyoko's hair is like really long. Not that it matters anyways. Also, one thing that pees me off, why doesn't Alter Ego come and save her? Now she's fucking dead because of a rigged trial. The whole trial was rigged. Now she's left in the dump. And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I started to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or... Regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. Now it's the end of Mukuro's class trial. In the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Havoc Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Here it is. Oh, and what do you know? Looks like Toko is actually dead too. Okay, so here's some lore I figured out. Apparently, what I used to think is that Monokuma had something to do with Toko's death. apparently, according to some rumored lore, what have you, she actually killed herself. And she killed herself because Byakuya conceded a child with Asahina. And you know how Kyoko would do anything for her master quote, Byakuya. And I guess she couldn't handle it anymore since he decided to concede with Asahina. I mean, look at him, he's even smiling. He seems to be happy this way. This is so cruel. I wonder how Hiro became, though. I wonder if he's even smarter, because he looks more relaxed, and he definitely looks more like he could be a father. Damn. I think Makoto's really the only one who hasn't changed. Anyways, now, considering she had 3 children, it makes me wonder, how long have they actually been in the school after the trial? Was it like a year or so? It depends on if they were all conceived at once or whatever. I'd say a year at most, maybe 3.5 to 4 years, or 3.5 to 4 years at most, and maybe 1 year at least. Anyway, peace but only inside the school. Peace but only for us. Just the thought of the fact that Toko killed herself, according to some rumored lore. Yeah, I wonder how easy that's gonna sit. She was crazy, but was she really this crazy and desperate? That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Nope. Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Looks like there's more. Her claim? Oh, that's right, I have to... Do I express Kyoko's lie or not? Nah, I'm just gonna select run away. You spend all your time trying to avoid danger? Yeah, we heard this song and dance already. She's not wrong, I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? Decide right now whether or not what happens if I press run away? Running away is not gonna solve anything. And I guess that's all we got, so... Thank you guys for watching. And, damn. A lot's gonna happen here, and this was really short too, so I hope you enjoyed, and well, a quick update, I'm probably gonna start another playthrough because I've been having trouble with this game and Danganronpa 2 in terms of like opening them, because I think some update on my computer probably messed them up, so hopefully those get patched soon. I can still play them, but it's a bit of trouble, and they crash kind of easily, so either way, maybe later on I'm gonna start another playthrough. This other playthrough I'm gonna start was meant to coincide with Danganronpa 2. You know, so a simple playthrough and then a kid-friendly playthrough. But I guess that's not how it's gonna be, so, well, you guys have to wait and see. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then.